sell some of them. You're wasting all your time and money on models. Paint what you have.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Model Club TV, episode 49. God. If that pen, I want everyone, for every click of that pen that you hear during this episode, we're going to torture Scott.
Click the pen 49 times.
Dude, don't do it. Don't do it. So this is a running thing. There was an episode way back in the beginning that Scott had a pen off screen and was clicking it, and I could hear it throughout the episode. And it was driving me nuts, and now he's just going to do it on purpose.
Yeah, and then when he's editing, he's just got to listen to it.
Kill him. Scott, this is our anniversary episode. Notice we don't have the same party favors as last time, but it's 2 years. We've been doing this 2 years.
Oh, yeah, I've got the floating eye.
Ooh. Yeah,
lights up too, sometimes.
Sometimes. So 2 years. What have we learned in 2 years, Scott?
Not to get gifts from CG Blade, because this is what she gets.
What else have we learned in 2 years?
Not to ask for donations. But we'll cover that in a little while.
Yeah. No, right out from the bat here, right from the beginning. Thank you to every single person that has even watched 1 second of this disaster of a show. We truly appreciate it. It's been 2 years. I didn't think, like I said last year, that we'd even make it past 8 episodes. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who has supported us. Thank you to everyone who has watched us, shared us. Keep sharing us, because we need to get to that 1,000 subscriber milestone, which I don't think it's ever going to happen. But again, thank you from the bottom of our heart, my heart especially, because, like I said, I didn't think this would be successful. And here we are. I'm stuck with Scott.
I can't believe I'm still doing this for no money.
I'm not doing it for any money either.
I'm talent.
You are talent. Scott is our talent and a co-host.
Lovely co-host.
Lovely co-host. So we have Scott Johansson, our lovely co-host. Jason Walker, your co-host as well. Scott, anything you want to say about 2 years?
No.
Okay.
Too long. Miserable. Let's do some math here. 49. And these usually take about 3 hours of my time.
Yeah, yep. Usually.
So that's about 150 hours.
That's not bad.
Okay. Now, at my current rate of pay, that would be, you owe me $1,350.
I'll get you that. I promise.
No, that's not right. Yeah, that's right.
All right, I'll get you that. Anyway, here we are. Episode 49. Still going strong, sort of. We have been kicking around the idea of doing this.
Quitting?
Quitting. Yes, we have. But we're going to stick with it for now. We have also kicked around the idea of doing it once a month, because it's not that we don't have anything to talk about. It's that it's just hard to do twice a month in terms of time in real life. So for now, we're going to try and stick to the 2 episode schedule for this season 3. But if we miss one, don't be mad. But that'll drive me nuts if we miss one. So.
And I'll try to do some more of those fancy how-to videos.
Yeah, we're going to do a lot more of those, I think. And again, if anyone else has suggestions as to what they want to see, what they hate about us, what they like about us, you can send us an email at modelclubtv@gmail.com, or you can send us a voicemail at 708-816-4299, 708-816-4299. And when you leave a voicemail, there is a 3-minute limit in Google Voice. There is a 1.5-minute limit from Jason. If it gets past that, it ain't getting on. So try and keep them short. The way we always thought about doing the voicemail was quick question, comment, 30 seconds, a minute, we're good. After that, Scott tends to glaze over. So,
especially when it's somebody.
So anyway, before we get to our giveaways,
Can you hear that in the background?
what is it?
Well, I hope it's fireworks and not one of our fans taking shots at me.
Hold on, I gotta pause. I gotta go get your present.
Why? You're never going to give it to me?
All right, so everybody knows I was on vacation in the free state of Florida.
Yeah, you didn't buy me nothing at the tobacco sex shop, did you?
No, I didn't. We went in there. It's pretty cool.
Knives? What were they had? They had knives?
It was edibles, knives, adult toys, tobacco, and something else. Best store.
I bet they got some wild Friday nights at that place.
Actually, they closed really early, which makes no sense. They were closed by like 6
plenty
o'clock.
of sense to me.
Anyway, so when I tend to go out of town, we always go to record stores.
Mhm.
And we took a side trip to Pensacola. And in a record store, I found this.
Well, look at that.
So I got you a Groovy Ghoulies 12-inch. Look at that guy's face.
Looks like me, kind of.
It does a little bit.
And the Frankenstein looks like Brian Clark.
So it is horrifyingly rare power pop from the beloved TV cartoon featuring Richard Delvey and Ed Foreigner of the Challengers. Pumpkin orange vinyl, pressing limited to 500 copies, and exclusive to independent record stores. So, side one, Save Your Good Lovin' for Me, Bumble Ghoulie, Where We Go So Good Together, Frankie, Ghoulie Get Together, which is the theme, I guess.
Yep.
And then first annual, we can go over the rest, but I'll drop this off at your house next time I see you.
With the other gifts I have?
With the other gifts.
Well, thank you.
There you go.
The Groovy Ghoulies.
And don't say I never got you anything, as I did.
Okay. I'm still waiting for my Jamie Sy drop off.
What?
You know, my Cyclops, my Colossal Man, or whatever, Jamie.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Before you run him over with your chair.
Oh, no. I just had a disaster.
Of course you did.
I just spilled a coffee on a bunch of stuff.
So, folks.
So our mystery donor letter is not covered in coffee. Oh, no.
No, I sure hope you were recording when you read that earlier.
Oh, boy.
Were you recording when you read that earlier?
I don't know. Oh. Hold on, I gotta get these. Now I'm gonna smell like coffee the whole rest of the time. Oh shit!
Hey, could you make sure? Could you make sure none of that gets on my album?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh no, it's falling apart! Oh no, mystery donor!
Oh
okay,
my
wait.
God.
Oh, okay. I got it apart.
Yeah, I sure hope you were.
Get it to dry.
Are you sniffing it?
No, I'm wiping. I left my Dunkin'. Oh, spilled the whole thing. There's a river.
Oh my God!
My only problem is it got onto my model scenes, but thank God they were wrapped. Okay. Oh boy.
This is what I was telling you all while he was gone.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
All right. Man, I'm gonna smell like coffee the whole show.
You might
Anyway,
want to consider one of these.
I have like 7 of them.
Yeah, well, maybe you should use them because.
Okay. All right, your gift. Done. this has been in the works for a little while. We're going to have a little movie chat. Scott has watched The Batman.
Most of it.
Okay, why only most of it?
Well,
oh, here we go. Here we go.
What are you saying? You don't want the story?
I'd love to hear the story.
The other night, going to bed, and like I so often do, for whatever reason, I start going through the on-demand movies, knowing I'm not going to stay awake more than 5 minutes. Okay. I've fallen asleep looking through the on-demand movies before. Okay.
I've done that.
So there was Batman. And I tried to start it one other time, and I don't think I got past the first 3 minutes, and I was asleep. And well, let's just say now I know why. But so I started watching. It was enough to hold my interest. I think there was one part that I fell asleep for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know why I kept watching it because, well, I do know, so I could dog it here when I was talking to you. All right. I'm not going to say it was terrible. It wasn't like Kong versus Godzilla terrible. Okay. But it wasn't great. I didn't mind him as Batman because he didn't do the Christian Bale. Okay, so that was nice.
Yes, I agree.
The villain, the Riddler, was kind of, I don't know. The whole thing was just kind of, first of all, the movie was too long for what it was. Okay,
I'll agree with you.
All right, it was too long for what it was, so they really drug it out. They really, there were parts like when the Catwoman parts were in there that I couldn't make out what they were saying to each other because the other noise was too
that's because you're old, but all right,
loud or whatever. But that's another aspect of the movie that I thought just really didn't make a lot of sense, was the Catwoman part of it. And it's just, how does just somebody like that get all these fighting skills? No, it's just,
you grew up in the mean streets of Gotham. That's what happens. You get fighting skills.
Yeah. No. Okay. I didn't mind the Batman mask, but the rest of the costume I didn't care for.
See, I'm the opposite. I think it was one of the better Batman costumes.
Okay. Now, a couple of things that really bugged me about this movie. Okay.
Here we go.
When there's 5 guys shooting at you with automatic weapons, you're not going to dodge every one of those bullets. Okay. It's just not going to happen. You're not that good. Nobody's that good. But all right, we'll suspend that for comic book.
He got blasted. What are you talking about? He got blasted a lot of times.
All right. So we go through this whole movie trying to keep it what I would call realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't like it. Seemed Alfred was smarter than he was. And he was kind of a dick to Alfred too.
He was, and I think that's part of the story.
But so you've got that. So you've got this whole movie though where it's kind of like nothing crazy. I mean, yeah, he'd go into a room and beat some guys up or whatever, but it wasn't anything over the top. But then we get to the end. And we get we're hanging on by one hand, crazy stunt shit. Okay. And it's like, so you tried to make this realistic the whole time.
I think we have the same complaint, I think.
And you get to the end and it's like watching every other superhero movie you've seen in the last.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
So
I wish it would have ended with the Joker or the Riddler going to jail. Like would have been perfect. I get what they were trying to do to make him more of a hero than he was, but you could have done that in the next one. I think you're right. When they were trying to ground it in reality like that, it was great up until you didn't need that ending, I think, to make it.
Yeah, it's got to be too much. Like, first of all, was it 5 bombs? Do you think 5 bombs blown up a seawall would flood a city like that?
Yeah,
I mean,
if it's the right place. But
but
to me, it almost feels like the studio was like, this needs a superhero action moment. You better do something here at the end to make it. That's what it felt like. It felt tacked on. And then what I was telling you, did you go by any chance go and watch the Joker thing that was cut from the movie?
No.
Okay. So I immediately did that after watching it. And there's a Joker thing that was cut out of the movie from Arkham Asylum. And I'm very happy that they cut it out because it wasn't good. And if that's the Joker they're going with,
well,
I don't think it looks that good either. And
that's another thing that I didn't necessarily care for. And maybe I was half asleep, so I wasn't following the plot too closely. Yeah. But it made it seem like his parents were actually assholes.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Oh, okay. And, so, here I became the Batman because my parents were killed. And now I find out, my parents were assholes. Maybe they deserved it.
Yeah, that's part of it.
So it's,
well, I think
I didn't like that part of it either. So.
I don't mind that because I think it adds another layer of like, you always put your Batman and Bruce Wayne has always put his father up on this pedestal. You always put your own parents up, and then you never think of them, most people, as bad people, but you can.
Oh, and you know what else was bad? The Penguin just being an ordinary guy.
I like that.
And then the car chase with the Penguin was just completely stupid.
Yeah, that could have gone.
And the Batmobile was dumb looking.
No. I love this Batmobile. It felt like a real car.
Nope. Worst Batmobile ever.
No way. No way.
Comment. Was it the worst Batmobile ever?
No. The Christian Bale Batmobile. It doesn't, yeah.
Well, that was like an army tumbler.
That's
tank,
my point.
And I didn't care for that either.
I like this one because it was a car.
But this was just like a, I don't know, like a Camaro dune buggy or something.
That's great. That was really cool. All right, that's the Batman.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
I'm surprised you watched. Don't waste your time. I'm surprised you watched it. I'm happy.
This is like Aquaman and Justice League. It's like, I can't believe I watched it. I'll never watch it again. Of all the Batman movies, I will still take the first Keaton Batman over any of them. And
I will go back to this. Scott Johansson, you need to watch Peacemaker.
Why is Batman in it?
No. There's other people in it that has to do with what you just said. And I don't want to ruin it. Moving on. I watched Mad God. And I had heard about this a while ago. Finally got to see it because it was a limited release in a theater for a minute. Didn't get to see it. It's now exclusive to Shudder. Jim McFarlane, who won the Robin Kit last episode, sent me an email reminding me, saying he thought I would like it, and I loved it. What it's about, I'm not sure. I think I know. I gotta watch it again. It reminds me so much of stuff that was that's not made anymore. Like, people don't make movies like this anymore. That is about the craft and about the art of it. And I'll just leave it at that. There's an art to this movie, and there's so many callbacks to other things that I personally like that it just.
What is this creature that looks like Brian Clark?
That's what I'm saying. So there's so many odd, weird puppets and stop motion puppets. So it's Phil Tippett, for people who don't know, who did all of the stop motion animation for Star Wars and some other movies. He made his own movie, and it's all stop motion mixed with some live action, mixed with some traditional puppets, mixed with shadow puppets at one point. And it's beautiful, and it's horrifying to look at times. Like, there's really weird, strange stuff going on. And like to it's indescribable at points, but to kind of, and I don't know how much of this you're gonna understand. It's like a Hieronymus Bosch painting, which is where all the horrific things are going on in hell, mixed with Salvador Dali at times, mixed with Alexander Calder, who's one of my favorite sculptors, who did, like in his early days, did a wire circus, and he would have circus acts in his house with little miniatures that he made out of wire. And there's parts of this that remind me of that. There's parts that remind you of all of the other so there's Frankenstein's monster is in this movie, but it's an Easter egg and you have to look for it in all of these different scenes. The Harryhausen Cyclops is in there. Ed 209 I noticed from RoboCop. Robbie the Robot is in it in the background. Who's standing? Maschenkrieger stuff is in here. Like, if you're a modeler, you have to watch this movie. And if you're a Harryhausen fan, you have to watch this movie because there's so much stuff like tucked into this movie, built into the scenery, that you're like, oh, there's that. I know what that's from. I know what that's from. Kind of like Matt Clemens would do with some of that. You remember how he could say, oh, that piece is from this? There's, I'm sure, tons of that. One of my favorite artists is Ashley Wood, who did a series called World War Robot. One of those robot toys is in this, and I was just like, it's like all these great art things that I love come to life. And I really think if you're a modeler, it's like a Nirasawa Takaya Hobby Japan diorama come to life. Like those crazy dioramas that you see out of Japan, it's like that, but moving. And get Shudder, even if you just get Shudder for the free week, it's worth the watch. I've seen people say, oh, there's no story. There's a story. I don't want to give away what I think it's about. But it's an art piece more than anything. And I think it took him 30 years to make this. It said he's been working on it on and off, and it's not for everybody. It's weird, but it's worth seeing. And just for the craftsmanship alone, I think everyone take a look at it. That's Mad God. There's some really cool things in it.
Mad God.
Which brings me to Love, Death, and Robots, which was a heated discussion. I don't know if it was heated in our comments section a couple episodes ago between CG and I think it was Spike. And I hadn't seen the new season yet, and I have now finished the new season. There's 3 seasons for people who don't know what Love, Death, and Robots is. It is a animated anthology series on Netflix where they tell little 15-minute stories and based with different animators and artists and stuff. And it's beautiful. It's really well done. Most of them are fantastic. Some are hit and miss. Sometimes the stories aren't good and the animation's not good, or just not something that speaks to me. The first season was great. Second season I thought was kind of lacking. There was a few in there. And now this third season, CG said he didn't like it. Spike said he loved it. I really liked it. There was some that were in there. The one I hate the one with the 3 robots. I hate it. It's dumb to me, and I don't like the cultural stuff they're kind of trying to poke fun at. But in this new season, David Fincher did an episode, which I thought was great, with this giant crab. And there's a there's like a zombie apocalypse done from if you were looking at Lego people from 100 feet in the air, and you just see this stop motion and I thought that was really well done. And there's a Cthulhu one in this episode but definitely worth seeing. I Love, Death, and Robots is great, and I think everyone should watch it. It's good. It's really good. And that's our movie stuff, I think.
My wife watched The Last Kingdom.
How's that?
She liked it.
Oh. You didn't see that still.
She binged it 5 seasons.
Oh, really? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Actually, I think I'm getting in, when I get down to my Kutan stuff, I think next month he's doing a Last Kingdom model. I could print it for her. But yeah, Love, Death, and Robots. The first season, there's some I really loved. And this one, I really like too. But second one, All right, giveaway, Scott. Giveaways!
Give it away!
So, from Starlighting Projects. You have them by you, right? You have these.
I don't have them sitting here, actually.
You have them.
In the basement.
You have them sitting there? We have 2 to give away. What do you want to do? The skulls first, or the lights?
Let's do skulls.
Let's do
Some are in
skulls.
for both, right?
Yep. So I went and curated all of that, and if you wanted both, you're in both. Here we go.
Skulls.
Disturbed Earth. Disturbed Earth gets the skulls. Okay, let me just tape that so I know. All right, and now the lights.
Let there be lights.
Paul Burnett. Paul Burnett gets the Let There Be Light.
Okay.
So thank you to everybody who entered.
Hold on. We're going to throw an extra bonus in here.
Uh-oh, we got a bonus? What did you do?
Hold on. I just had a brilliant idea.
Oh, I know how these go.
Hold on. It's so brilliant, I can't even execute it. Hold on. Okay, so we have an extra donated by our friend Phil Kupka. But it is a Starlighting Projects piece.
Okay.
So I want you to draw another name. How to mix them both together, and
all right, I'll mix them both together.
Draw another name.
Bill Wilson.
Bill Wilson.
He wins all the time. All right, Bill.
We're watching you, Bill. We're watching you.
Something.
All right, I'll send this out to Bill. I might still have his address. But Bill, you're getting the bonus Starlight.
Bill Wilson.
Which was donated by Bill Kupka. So there you go.
So we have to have a conversation with our viewers / listeners.
Yes,
we have a lot to give away. a lot. I'm not, and we don't really know how to do it. So first I want to start with this. I want to start by thanking some people that donated us stuff to give away. So coming up, we have a lot of things from Pestilence Labs and the Worthlings. CG Blade donated a ton of stuff. Sweet Life, we have I'm Your Huckleberry. Paul Gill, we have Elephant Man and an Alien. We have 2 from Paul. Chuck Amolka donated a Batman. Ellie Raphael and Shane McGowan, I have 4 pieces from them, and they're huge. One of them is missing some parts. We got to get that worked out. But I think those are going to be local only, maybe, if people want to pick them up because they're so big. We'll talk about it when we get to it. We want to thank Starling Projects for what we just gave away. And then
Matt Lawrence.
And then we have a mystery donor that sent me this box filled with a ton of stuff. And again, mystery donors, I love it, but I wish I could. So we have these little metal projects to give away, these little metal models. We have a ton of paper craft models to give away,
which luckily really didn't get coffee spilled on them.
No, I did not get coffee on them. The Bates Motel is one of them. Like there's like the Apollo landing craft, like tons of stuff in there. Stormtroopers. And then also gave away some paintbrush bundles that are over $100 each. So we have a lot to give away. And Scott and I are struggling with how to do it. So Scott, what do you think?
I think we're going to give something away this episode. And then I think after that, we're open to suggestions. How should we do this? We have some higher end items, obviously. And we have just some like what you'd call gift pack items. And we were thinking about just throwing together some gift packs. You get what you get. However, we don't want to slight the people that donated some really nice things. So those will probably be some separate giveaways. And what we're trying to decide is, do we just have an episode of all giveaways and say,
Here, do it.
here you go, we're going to spend an episode drawing names? Do we stretch it out over, because we probably have enough for months if
Yeah.
we stretch it out. So give us some suggestions, and between the two of us, we'll listen and come up with something.
Yeah, leave them in the comments. We
can
what
tell
we mean
you
by
that
the gift
next-
packs.
Next episode,
Yeah,
we will be giving away more than one thing.
yeah. But the gift packs, we could just take 2 models, put them together with some stuff, and just pull names. It's a logistical nightmare to try and do them all and spread them out, like figure out who gets what. So please give us suggestions, what you'd like to see from us. But we have a lot to give away. So
What are we going to give away this episode?
it's up to you, man. What do you want to give away?
So this episode, I think we're going to go with, it was a toss-up between a couple things, and I've decided we're going to go with Paul Gill's Elephant Man.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, so we got the Elephant Man bust. Jason put a picture up here. And if you want to be entered in the Elephant Man bust drawing, in the comments, on the Facebook comments, how about I am not an animal?
I am not an animal. I am not an animal. From Paul Gill and Gillman Productions. Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
Check him
And
out
then,
on Facebook. And
I was thinking, because we do have people that just download us, so should they be able to enter by email as well?
they can hear and just head over to YouTube and leave comments. For me to do,
Okay.
it's really hard for me to.
Read more than 5 emails a month? Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. To kind of keep the 2 parsed. So it's easier. If you want to enter, please head over to YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube.
Like
And subscribe. And then put in I am not an animal. And we'll enter you in for the Elephant Man. Which is a really cool bust. People are going to love that thing. Okay. So, and then please, on YouTube, leave comments how you'd like to see a giveaway episode, what you'd like to see. If you'd want it all spread out, we'll take that into consideration too. So we'll see next episode.
we appreciate everybody that's donated anything
Ever. For the 2 years we've been here, thank you.
We don't want to slight anybody by giving this away first, this away second, whatever. Just kind of a random thing. And I'm looking at it right now. Most of the stuff came at Wonderfest or after.
Yep.
And Paul was the first one that came to us with this. So let's give Paul that nod and throw that out there.
Yeah.
So again,
it's-
I am not an animal. In the comments. That was Jason's idea.
All right. Before we jump into news and reviews, I forgot something I had bought at Wonderfest.
What?
From Lexi McDevitt, Troy's daughter, correct? Am I wrong?
I think you're correct.
Okay, so Artiopteryx is her site. I'll leave a link up there. Artiopteryx, she does some really cool. She made these forest spirits from Princess Mononoke, and I bought 3 of them. They glow in the dark, and I'm just going to set them up around my house. So, and look, I smashed my finger on vacation.
I was going to ask you about that. I saw that earlier.
Yeah, smashed it in a folding chair on the beach. That's why I hate the beach. But thank you, Lexi.
Well, maybe
These
if
are
you
great.
weren't so busy keeping your big hat on and your flippers,
You
and
have to find pictures.
please post some of those pictures
I'll put one up here. I'll find one
of the great,
of Jason on the beach, and then
and the starfish on your head. That would be a good one.
All right, I'll find that. And then I had given Danny Sirocco something, and he returned the favor with a conjoined twin skull keychain.
Which
So,
I'm
thank
surprised
you.
you're not using.
I don't want to break it. I'm gonna hang it. So, anyway, all right, news and reviews. Boom. First thing, Scott, the World Model Expo is happening right now, like this weekend, I think. And it is in the Netherlands. So we won't be going. But what I've seen so far already, it's going to be the same cool stuff when that was here in Chicago. So any of our European people that can get over to the Netherlands and check out the World Model Expo, do it, because it is well worth the trip. I think if you're there, if it's ever back in the States, I'll probably consider maybe traveling to it if it's reasonable again. But there are some amazing things that happen at that, and please check out World Model Expo. World Model Expo 2022 on Facebook is where you can like keep up with all the info. Second is G-Fest is coming up. I want everyone to kind of just because it's one of those shows that for some reason I always forget about, and it's in our backyard. It's on July 15th through the 17th at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare, and it's all things kaiju and Godzilla related. So if you love that stuff, there you go. G-Fest. Robert Trock will be there with the Destroy All Monsters diorama. Destroy All Modelers diorama. And then I want to give a special shout out to Rob Madison and his lovely YouTube channel. Scott, what's it called?
Monster Model Review.
Monster Model Review. He's still
and he has
doing
another one too, Toy Archaeology.
Toy Archaeology, and he also has the game. Is the board game one the same?
That's Toy Archaeology.
Is that on there? I think there's.
And I think he's doing another one with someone too. But
yeah, but he always gives us a shout out on there, and I want to say he just posted another video with one of the Wacky Racers kits that he had put together. So
the Wacky Racers,
Wacky Racers kits that he had put together. And he gives you
so
a nice little
he
shout out
mentioned
as
my conversion parts.
He did
that I haven't even molded yet. So
you've had a lot of
it's kind of like
people
giving me a shove to get going because I've already gotten 3 emails. So
all right. Typical Scott. So thank you, Rob, for the shout out. But again, everyone check out Rob Madison and Monster Model Review. And
you have to have Rob on again.
Yeah, we do. I missed him at Wonderfest.
I did too.
He's been doing some fantastic mask making stuff. And it makes me, I want to get off my butt and get mine going. But anyway, thank you, Rob. Second thing we forgot to talk about last episode, and I think it's just because we were in a hurry, was the new issue of AFM is out. And again, it's gone all digital. And I think this one is a really, really good issue. It's sad that it's not a magazine. But again, we've talked about it before. We know why. But there's some really good stuff in there. And the color, like, it's not your typical, it's more colorful than it usually is, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
and there's also,
and
I don't know if people are aware of this, but like if there's an ad on there, it will link you to, if they've got a web page. There's a few places that have videos. Like I know Steve's article, I think there's a video that you can link to. So it's kind of cool. You know, they're trying to branch out into that, you know, use the digital world as much as you can. So
I'm going to go, just remind Steve's diorama have a certain look to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's Mad God is a lot like Steve's diorama. Steve would love that movie. I want him to watch it. So Steve, if you're watching, which I doubt, watch Mad God. You'll love it. It's very much like your style of things. There's a casting article by Mac Maddy, a second part to it. Great stuff. Check out AFM. It's worth every penny. So please keep AFM going. Pick up your digital copy today. And then Typhon Studios had an announcement.
I did not see this. Tell me about it.
And it's shipping problems coming from Ireland because of where he is in Northern Ireland. And if I don't want to go through the whole big long letter, head over to Typhon's Facebook page. I'll read this one part. As tough as it is to write this, I'm fully prepared to hit the stop button with Typhon, as this price increase could be enough to prevent many of you from deciding to buy a kit with all the other increases we're facing daily. Resin models are down on the priority list somewhat. If that is the case, I'll get all pending kits out and take it from there, but I really do hope we can continue. So he's having some pretty major shipping cost issues coming from Northern Ireland. He thinks he has found a workaround, so hopefully that's the case. I would hate to see Typhon go away.
He's made some beautiful kits.
And so my suggestion is you pay what you get what you pay for, right? It's going to cost you more to ship it, but you're getting some of the best castings you're ever going to see. You're getting some amazing sculptures and some amazing kits. So it sucks. It does. And I'd hate to see him have to close up shop just due to shipping costs. It's ridiculous. So try and support him as much as you can. And we want to see Typhon keep going. So
he was, when I got the Millicent piece, and I was high on the list.
I thought you were going to say you were high.
I was high too, but I got the Millicent piece, and through the stuff we've promoted and stuff, Mike was going to send me mine for free, and he was like, "Just pay the postage." And I said, "Mike, I can't let you do that." And so he says, "No, just send the postage." So what I did is, I'll tell you what, you pay for the postage, I'll pay for the kit, and I sent him the price of the kit. So it's because he's been supportive of us. He sent us a few things for giveaways. I've gotten, what have I gotten? 2 or 3 of his kits. I'm trying to think now. I know I got the Imhotep.
I wish this is not a slight untie. It's just everything so far has not been my subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
This is all you.
No, but it is good stuff.
It's great stuff. Like so please everybody support Typhon. And I might end up just buying something just to help out. So I have an announcement for myself.
Oh, you self-promoting bastard.
I am self-promoting for once. So I am on the merchant tier of Kutan Patreon. So if you want anything printed from anything that he has, I have access to all of it. Let me know. Work out something you. I can do anywhere from, I think most of his are 1/10, 1/8, but I can scale them up as close to 1/6 that I can get. And if there's anything you're interested in, let me know. But he has some really cool stuff out there. And yeah.
Can you view it? Do they have a Facebook page where they can view it?
He does have a Facebook page where you can see what he's doing. I'll link to it. He also, through the Patreon, you can see some of it as well. But he does some amazing, just more recent movie figures and stuff. So excellent. That's my shameless promotion. From Chuck Homolka. For Monsters in Motion, he always sends us something along to check out. Monsters in Motion, Milton the Monster Diorama Model Kit. I thought he said this would be up your alley, Scott.
Yeah, I vaguely remember Milton the Monster, but I do
1966 Gold Key comic book based on. It's a comic, I guess. So diorama includes over 20 pressure cast parts, including clear vials and beaker. But he also sent this, Scott. And if you look to the other side, this Frankenstein image. You know what that is?
It's a beach towel.
It is a beach towel. So at Monsters in Motion, and as soon as we are done recording today, I am going to go and pre-order. They have the Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein's Monster, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and a mummy over on the Monsters in Motion webpage. So I really like that Creature from the Black Lagoon beach towel. So I'm going to pick that up, I think. So those are pretty cool. And then thank you, Chuck, because I would have missed this. On Monsters in Motion's main page, they have a little ad for a model kit from a movie that I love from from 89, I think it is. But for people who are into industrial music like I am, Gunhead was a huge thing because there's a band called Frontline Assembly, and they use clips from this movie in their video. And the robot mech thing in there, it's made with miniatures, like similar to like how Godzilla stuff is done. And Gunhead's a great movie. If you haven't seen Gunhead, go watch it. But there's a model kit, finally, of this. So I am going to be pre-ordering this as well. So Gunhead plastic model kit. 30 years in the making or more. I wish there probably has been one, but this one looks really good. Really good. So check that out if you're interested. And then Scott, why don't you take our good friend, Mr. Cipriano?
Mr. Cipriano, who we put out the Mad Monster Party creature. Last episode, I can tell you I got one and it's beautiful. So, of course, I got one of the special editions with 2 left arms, but Tony was nice enough to fix that. So, anyway, we bust Tony's ass all the time. But I love Tony. Anyway, Mighty Mouse. And Tony's been waiting to release this and a few other things because he's been hesitant about clear resin printing. And apparently he's had some success. And so you've got a picture here of the actual casting and then Tony's render of the, so this is it, 8 inches tall, $95, $15 shipping, ships to the US only, please. Okay. That is Tony. Now, because I love to help Tony. I don't know why. Okay. If there's anybody in Canada or somebody that wants this really that bad, get a hold of me. If you want to pay the extra money, I'll have Tony ship it to me and then I'll ship it to you. Anything to help out my friend Tony. So, yeah, there you go. Another great cartoon kit from Mr. Cipriano.
Awesome. And then our Well update.
Well has a Patreon now. And I think these first 2 pieces or first 3 are in the Patreon. And the first one is Space Ghost with Blip. I really like the bass on this.
Yeah.
But I don't know if my Saturn can handle it.
Yeah, he always makes giant bases.
On some of these, he does. And then we have Muttley from Dastardly and Muttley and Their Flying Machines. That's the second in that series of the planes. He did the Dastardly already, so he's got 2 more to do. And then we have Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy. Isn't that just a cute little...
oh, great.
Yeah, and you probably never saw an episode of that in your life, did you?
No, I have seen it.
So we've got that. And this is all since last month. Wells...
he's been on a tear.
He is. Baba Louie, and that's for those that don't know, is Quick Draw McGraw's sidekick. And probably not politically correct by today's standards, but whatever. And then you guys really like this one, the Inch High Private Eye one.
Yeah, he's got a good face.
I like this, especially if you could paint that like with some of that chrome, that mirror paint.
Yeah. Or even find a mirror to sink
or
into
print
that.
it clear.
Yeah.
So we got an Inch High there. And that's pretty cool. And then last.
It's been my nickname most of my life.
That is most of your life. The last one is Pixie and Dixie and Mr. Jinx. That's a big piece. 3 pieces. Now, because I know the limitations of the Saturn, okay, one suggestion I did make to him is I said, take the part that says Mr. Jinx and make that a separate piece. Because otherwise, look how big that back piece would be on that. So he did do that. He's very open to suggestions, especially from me. And
because you're so nice and polite.
And right now he's working on a set of Musketeer dogs and their king. Let's just leave it at that. And we'll probably have pictures of that next time. And you didn't even know who it was when I showed it to you. So.
No, I didn't.
So check out Well on CG Trader and also his Patreon.
Cool.
Tell him I sent you.
Yes, please tell him, Scott. And Model Club sent you.
Yep.
Danny Sirocco again in Dimensional Designs. He's been plastering this stuff all over Facebook the last couple days. I have to talk to him because I'm not entirely sure if this is his or if he had a hand in it, but Hero Club Solid Art also maybe had something to do with it. If you're interested in this, which is the Zuni Paradol, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
My brain
Yeah.
just broke.
I'm not even interested in having one of those in my house.
Oh man. So from the famous Karen Black movie?
Karen Black Trilogy of Terror.
Trilogy of Terror. This looks just like the one from the movie.
Fuck, it scared the hell out of me. The thing, the first
remember
time.
that knife under the door?
My best was when he's cutting through the suitcase. And I'm like, that suitcase would have been so out my window at that point. Okay.
But
let somebody else deal with this. That
hit up Danny over on his Facebook page on Dimensional Designs. And he also has, I think this coming out, he just debuted it at Wonderfest, I think, which is The Captive Wild Woman. And that is a super detailed, really nice base, really nice figure. So we love Danny. So please show him some love.
Show him some love. Stay on his ass a little, but show him some love.
And he's coming on. He's coming on this season.
Yep. He's got great stories. He sure does.
Yep. And then finally, from David Bennett and Model Madhouse, there's a list, I think, going for this now. And it's a Lost Lure kit. He debuted this at Wonderfest as well. We're going to have David Bennett on, I think, a few episodes from now as well, to talk about this when it gets closer to release. So, again, head over to Model Madhouse and David Bennett and give it a look.
Who sculpted this? Do you know?
I don't know.
I do.
Don't know. You do? Who?
Troy McDevitt.
Oh, did he? Cool.
Yeah. You're busy buying ghosts from his daughter. And
buying the
meantime, he's making.
I didn't even notice. That's pretty cool. It has the Aurora, like that same lizard on the log there.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. That's news and reviews. Real quick, I'm going to put a quick slideshow up here.
Did you buy anything?
No.
Man, I did.
What'd you buy?
Okay. So, our guest that's coming up, talked about these artist grade pan pastels. And so I got a set of the skin tones.
Nice.
Off Amazon. Not that I'm going to do anything with them.
And how much were they?
$40, $41. Okay.
Those better be open. I want to see you use them.
From our friend Todd Paul. And maybe I'll send you a picture of this because I don't know if he's going to focus. Oh, there he goes.
What is
we know who that is. Okay. Yes, he has an upper denture there.
Hold on. I never even seen it. What is this?
King Kong.
Why is the light blow everything? We got to get your light fixed. So, but is that his? What is it?
Yeah, Mick Wood has sculpted it. Todd puts it out. It's $160.
You dropped something. Everybody see that? We're starting the new season off right. Scott dropping things.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't drop a coffee, freak. It's way under there. I'm not going for it. Okay, then I have something that I got about a week after Wonderfest. I was told I had to open it on the show. So as you can see, it's still sealed. And this comes from Pestilence Labs. I have no idea what it is. It's probably a box of rocks. So we're going to open it up. We're going to open it up and see just what this cheap bastard's up to. By the way, he loved when I was spanking the mold.
A lot of people like that. I'm trying. Did I buy something? I bought some stuff to print, but I haven't.
Yeah, I bought a few STLs too.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what this is.
We'll say this. I was trying to find a hobby store to do an on the road segment, and it was no luck between here and Panama City Beach. Everything was either closed or off the beaten path. All right, got it?
Getting there. Bubble wrap. Well, we got some giveaways.
More giveaways?
Feet.
Ah!
He sent me a bag of feet. I kid you not. This is a bag of nasty feet.
For those people who have not been keeping up, Scott hates feet. And this is glorious.
What in the hell am I supposed to do?
All right, we need to see some on camera a little clearer.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Let's let it. I got toes. I got bandages.
That's great. Thanks, Mark.
That's just great, Mark. Game's on.
That's great. So how many are in
Now, I will say this. I have left and right feet.
there? How many are in there?
Dude. Seriously. Hey, I wonder if there's an even amount of both. Oh, wait, look. There's a little rat.
Aw.
How
You know
fitting.
pretty good. You're all about
There's a
rats
couple little
these
rats in there. Well, something's got to gnaw the feet. My God. You know I got to count them now, right?
days. Oh God.
Well, I mean, how do you not? He went through all this trouble. Oh my God. Touching all these feet.
You can't even touch plastic feet.
Ugh. No, they're sandals and toes. Who wears sandals?
Oh my God, this guy. Wait, legit. You're afraid of like plastic feet and real feet?
I just don't like feet in general. You should be hooves.
Wait, for real? You can't touch feet.
Ugh. I hope Worthling licked every one of these too.
Oh God.
He is something else. Okay. I'm going to have to get the story behind the feet because you could have burnt out molds casting all these feet. I hope he needs them for one of his kits because I ain't going to give them to him. I think these
I
are the
didn't
witch
know
feet.
anything about this.
Are these the witch feet? Like you'd know. Okay. All right. So I have this box of feet and we're going to use it for a contest.
Yep.
So I'm not going to tell you how many are in here. Especially since
Okay.
I just found another one.
You have to recount. Make sure.
I will recount to make sure.
Okay.
So
Well, thank you for the feet, Mark.
thanks for the feet, Mark. That was great. So what's happened now is when we get the heads for the Mark Worthling contest,
Yeah.
all bets are off. You can put it on whatever you want. Okay.
Just a big foot.
We don't care. We'll show it. So,
Wow.
yeah, feet. That's great.
Feet.
I got feet.
All
I don't even
right.
want to touch them again. I count them again. I'm pretty. I'm just
So
going to
wait,
give you.
legit, you have an aversion to the plastic fake feet?
No,
Is
I'm
what-
okay counting the
Okay.
feet. But I think what they are is I think everyone saw that Mark. I think these are witch, and everyone saw his little like display where he was selling rats and various things. So I think what happened is he told me that there were a lot of extra parts from China for the witch kit. And one of them was apparently the feet. And no one's going to want to buy the feet. So guess who ended up with the feet?
Yeah, that's great. We should give them
So
out as
now-
prizes.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to break them down left and right. We're going to figure out some kind of contest. But what's going to happen is years from now, someone's going to say, hey, Mark, I got 2 left feet in my witch kit. And he's not going to have any to give anyone. Okay. You know who they're going to call? They're going to call the
This
foot
is
doctor.
your money.
I'm going to be the
scheme?
foot doctor. Okay.
This is your payback for all the ideas you've given them. You'll make the money off the feet.
Yeah, I'm going to make the money off the feet.
Okay.
Right. Yes. I'm going to make the money off the feet.
All right. So that's it for news and reviews.
It wasn't that great. Thanks. And you know, I'm sitting there going, oh, what did he send me? He sent me something cool. He finally sent me something for free that I don't have to pay for. And this is what I get. I get feet. I get feet.
That's great. I love
Game's
it.
on.
Thank you, Pestilence.
I hope poor Shanna doesn't get caught in the crossfire, but you
She
never
won't.
know.
I'm sure she had nothing to do with this.
Oh, no, not at all. She is a totally innocent party, I'm sure.
Yes. Real quick, I'm going to put up a little mini slideshow here of Robert Trock's Destroy All Modelers diorama. So check it out. Boom. And then I have a list here. I'll put this little picture here up at the end. Again, I'll put it in the slideshow so you can pause it. But there's a list. He has a list of who is all in the diorama. So if you want to see this in person, it's going to be at G-Fest, I hear. So head out to G-Fest Chicago. Check it out. So there you go. All right, Workbench, Scott, you got anything? I think we can just skip it this month.
Skip it.
We're
going long anyway.
We haven't done anything. I haven't had time. All right. Emails, voicemails, and corrections.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, wait, we got to do one thing. Yes.
Yeah, when do we put the interview in?
That's what I was just going to say.
Okay.
It would be after Workbench. Okay. Our interview. We have a lovely interview this time. The loveliest I think we've ever had.
Yeah.
Scott, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest?
Our guest, we will butcher her last name, is the very talented Annya Shetinina. Was it or something like that?
Shetinina is what I thought it was. She told us she'd pronounce her last name.
And she did, and she will.
She did.
So we butchered it. I'm sorry, Annya. Anyway, Annya sent us some pictures of some beautiful stuff. I can't believe she's as new to Wonderfest and stuff as she is.
Yeah.
But very talented. And
great tips in this little interview, too.
Some great tips. And she even gave us a good tip at the end that we probably can't show because it was after we were talking. But Yeah, and she's just really nice, really
Super nice.
a pleasure to talk to. And unfortunately, she, as you'll find out, she doesn't do commissions anymore, so we can't really help her make any money. But she just really loves the hobby, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Head over to our Facebook page. We'll have it linked below. But yeah, check it out. Here's our interview. All right, everybody, we are back with our guest, Annya. And Annya, I'm going to let you say your last name so that I don't slaughter
it. It's Shetinina, but I go by Annya. So.
Okay, Annya. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Scott, for recruiting as well.
I recruit all the good guests.
He does. That is true. I get the bottom of the barrel people. How are you today? You doing good?
I am great, and I'm so happy talking to you guys.
All right. What part of the country are you in?
Right now, I'm in Minnesota.
Minnesota. So not far from us. Central time.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah. Where are you originally from? Because you do have an accent.
Russia.
Russia. Okay. I have Russian genes. What part of Russia?
St. Petersburg.
Cool. How long have you been here?
Yeah, I came here in 1996.
And you immediately regretted that decision, or are you still?
No, well, I was stuck in Montana for a few years.
Hey, what part of Montana?
Miles City, Montana.
Oh, shoot. What part of the state's that?
It's about 2 hours away from Billings.
Okay.
So, are you a cop?
No, I don't. I'm just like, I like knowing where people
you're a cop.
I've been to Billings. I love Montana.
Yeah, well, Helena is a beautiful part of Montana.
Uh-huh.
Right? Miles City, Montana is flat. It's hills, no trees, flat.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I went to Bozeman once and almost died on the way home because it was January. It was like the week between Christmas and New Year's. And so we are leaving Bozeman, coming out of that valley to Billings, and then Billings into Wyoming. Yep. And there was a giant ice storm and snowstorm, and we were driving through the mountain. It was fun. It was good times. And it was minus 17. It was the best.
It's memorable.
Yes.
Right?
It was.
Yeah. I almost died. It was fun.
Those are always the best stories when you almost die. How did you get started with building models? I
was it was 1999 or so. Sailor Moon came to United States, right?
Uh-huh.
I was obsessed about it, right? And so I wanted the toys for Sailor Moon, and I couldn't find anything, right? Everything was cheap knockoff, Chinese, and I wanted my own. So I did find it on eBay, which just started blooming at the time, right? And I got those very, very bad copies of Thai recasts of Sailor Moon kit.
Yeah.
So that's how I started. I got my first Sailor Moon kit, I looked at it, and I fell in love. And then I just practice.
Cool. I think everybody kind of fell. I don't think Scott so much because he's not a big anime guy. I don't think. But I really like a lot of
Speed Racer, pal. Okay.
I love those old anime kids. Like when they first started coming over, that's all you could find were recasts off of eBay or some of the other, like there was a group specifically at Wonderfest that was all just recast anime stuff. But that was the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Besides Sailor Moon, what other interests did you have anime wise?
Well, at the time I would just go get the Evangelion, the Sailor Moon. That's mostly what was available, some of the other cute, like girly anime, like Chobits or something like that, a cute stuff for girls, nothing monster like or horror movies. So, but now I kind of transitioned from anime and went a little bit more to a more lifelike and, more traditional. I still don't go too deep into like older horror movies, black and white and stuff, or gore, but I love right now the time for all this 3D printing and all this models that are amazing coming from movies and stuff. I made Loki's this time around for the contest room, and I love those models. They're just amazing. And
So-
you can do so much with it.
That's what you sent me these pictures. I'll put a couple up here and we'll show them
Yeah.
later. Did you print these?
Yes.
Cool. Scott, ask your printer questions. I know you have some.
No, so these are what am I thinking? Wicked? Is it Wicked? The Patreon
Yes,
Wicked?
yes.
Okay.
Love them. Those
And
people are awesome.
they're beautiful. Now, I'm an old man. When I say I'm an old man, I'm almost 60. So I grew up with the 60s and 70s comics. So when I see things, I like them to look like they did in the comic books. But I can appreciate these, that they look, I mean, they're beautiful. Sometimes they get too stylized for me, but I realize for younger generation, that's what they want. They want more movie related, looking like the movie type stuff, and not the classic comic, baby boomer type stuff.
They do have options. They have some of the models that are based on the comic style, but
Mhm.
I understand what you're saying. The more like stylized, like from a comics, from a cartoon,
Right.
more.
Right.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yes.
So, but I'm not putting them down. They're beautiful. And
Wicked
you've
does a
done
really good job.
fantastic work on this first Loki that I'm looking at, or on all of them, really.
So how
And,
did you get into 3D printing? Like, what printer do you have? How?
My first one, I bought a smaller, the Anycubic,
Okay.
just a proton, just the basic one. The tiny little thing was like $140 or something. It worked beautifully, but the scale was not big enough. So I, put my toe in there, tried it out. I loved it. I got myself. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Then I tried to get the filament printer, like a bigger one, and I hate that thing. Oh my god.
Oh, I do too. I hate
Oh.
it. I have one, but
Oh.
I hate it.
I have two
The
of them. I've been
lines-
fighting them all week. Like, that's what I've been doing nonstop. Is fighting
the
those two.
lines are driving me nuts. I'm OCD about smooth surface, and that's just
Yeah.
no. And that thing takes forever. 5 days of printing? Oh no.
It's good
No.
for certain things, but not for what we do.
Yeah,
Like, not for the
well,
model stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then I got the Anycubic Mon X, and it worked okay for maybe about 8 months, and then started having problems. I had to change the screen. I had my bearings oh god, I learned so much. Oh my god. Because I had so many problems, I just learned so much on how to fix it and grease everything and take everything apart and how many bolts are in that little joint thingy. I'm like, oh my god, too much information. But I went through tech support, I went through forums, and the thing that killed me was because the USB drive would not, I had only one USB drive that would recognize at the end.
Okay.
And that's it. And then that thing crashed on me, and I couldn't restart anything. I tried everything. My sister is in the tech support. She tried doing it. Nothing. No. So now I am with the oh my goodness, what is it called? The Saturn.
Okay.
So, and I
That's
love
what we
that thing.
have. Yeah.
That's what we have.
Yep. Yeah. It's amazing machine. Oh my god. And it's been the workhorse. I've been printing nonstop, and oh my god. Yes.
They're not without their problems too, but we've had pretty good luck with them, I think.
Yes. Yes. I mean,
And if
something
you
I
ever
like to
get
do.
the light on issue where it stays on, and because there's a motherboard issue with some of them.
Know who to ask?
Huh?
I know who to ask, right?
Yeah.
Just send it to me. Just take it out and send it to me. I'll fix it for you.
Scott is the
Okay.
MOSFET master.
They'll
He has
send
learned-
you one for free. You call customer support, they'll send you a free one.
Oh, nice.
But then I could probably fix it and send it back to you quicker than
Okay.
then you're going to get one from them.
Yeah, it's one thing we've
So
learned.
don't be
along
without
the
your
way.
printer that long. So
Yeah.
So for people, because and we talk about it all the time on here, we're still Garage Kit guys at heart, but 3D printing is taking over, and the more people we talk to, it's become one of those things where people printing is going to be normal now. Any bit of advice for people who want to take that step into getting a printer? Like one thing you learned along the way that might help somebody who wants to take the dive?
You know what? I don't think it's going to replace the regular garage kits. I think it's just going to go side by side and complements each other. But one of the things I think, probably just get a smaller printer for beginning, get your kinks in. It helped me, so I don't
Yeah.
know. You don't have to start big. You can buy a cheaper printer for like $120. Now they're even cheaper, and buy a couple bottles of resin on like $120, $150 printer, and try it out, see how you like it, and then if you actually something, because a lot of people find out that they can't stand the smell of it or all the productions or cleaning and stuff like that, and too much for them. I
Yeah.
enjoy the process, so but some people just have to find it for themselves if they're okay with that. If they're okay with spending some time on the computer, putting supports on your model, knowing how to rotate it
Yeah.
and stuff. It's just you have to know yourself and what you like doing, but start small. Start small and cheap.
That's good
I would
advice.
think so, at least.
That is good advice.
although the Saturns are a lot cheaper now. What are they, about $360 now?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Well, the Jupiter is coming out, so
We both have them. We both have them coming.
We have them on the way, and I don't know where it's going to go in the room yet. That's
I'm
what
running
I'm
out.
afraid of.
Yeah, running out of space too, but I would like to have one, but not yet.
Speaking of space, real quick, behind
Yes.
you, is that
Yes.
a SCADAS board from IKEA?
Yes.
So I was just talking about this on the show the other day. I just put those up. I love it so far. It looks like you love yours as well.
Yeah, I got a little cheap handed, and I made my own shells. I mean, I had got some of the hook, but then I got a bunch of other stuff that I just kind of made it my own.
Yeah, those are great because I found like with the FDM printer, if you go on Thingiverse, there's just hundreds and hundreds of things for the SCADAS to put up. So
Thinking that too, I was like, okay, I have to turn that big boy on then, and wait for 5 days.
yeah, true. But again, everybody, there it is, right behind, because where mine is, you can't see it, but that's it in action, the SCADAS. So
We
Cool.
actually have IKEA here by
have
Mall
two.
of America, right?
Yeah.
So
how
It's-
is I've never been to Mall of America. Is it worth going to?
big. You know what? I've been to Mall of America before I came to live here in this state, and it was kind of like, oh my God, it's a historical thing.
Yeah.
And now I try to avoid that thing. Oh my God, too much.
When did you realize when you started painting these models that, hey, I'm pretty good at this? Right away. Was there artistic talent?
Oh God, no. God, no. You should have seen my first stuff. I was convincing my sister. I painted one of the Sailor Scouts, and it was just a basic coat, pink for the skin. I think it was Mars or something. So it was blue skirt, blue hair. And she's like, well, where's the shading? Where's the shadows? I'm like, no. It doesn't need shadows. Once the light falls in, it creates its own shadows. And yeah, no. And then it kind of progressed. I found couple of the different forums. I found the Clubhouse, and you see all those beautiful models that people paint, and you just go in and I'm like, okay, well, if they can do it, I can probably do it,
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Like, I came up in the mid to late 90s and everyone watched David Fisher's videos. I mean, that was
I have those.
you have those. Okay. See, so you're part of that too then.
Yep.
And then you want to throw everything away because it's like, yeah, I'll never be that good. But you're certainly right there.
Well, thank you.
From everything that I've seen, for sure. When was your first Wonderfest?
5 years ago, I believe. Hold on a second. Let me grab.
You can grab it.
19.
I wonder what my oldest badge.
I still have my 95 badge.
I don't think I
17.
2017. Wow. Okay.
2017. So yeah.
And then you taught a class this year. Like, was this the first time you taught a
No,
class at
I've
Wonderfest?
been teaching it for 3 years.
Okay.
I mean, we skipped one, right?
Yeah.
And but no, this is my third time teaching.
Walk me through that. Do you like it? Do you like teaching that class full of that room full of people? And
okay, yes, it's kind of my sister and Joe had to drag me the first time around, right? So let me tell you about Joe. Okay.
Here we go.
We're
talking about.
I'll tell you what. You tell us about Joe, and then we'll tell you about Joe.
All right. Well, let's get his last name on here. Joe Negberger. Crazy Joe, is everyone.
Crazy Joe. My first year, I've been, me and my sister decided to drive to Wonderfest, right? I heard so much about it, and I was like, I always wanted to go, but then I couldn't do it, and then I had my daughter, and then, life gets in the way, and so finally we're like, okay, let's just do it for us. So it became a road trip for me and my sister. So we drove from Minnesota to Louisville, and by the way, we stopped at, we decided to save some money, and we were at the Super 8 motel for $50 a night. It was a scary place, let me tell you. Let me tell you, it was a very interesting experience. The same lady was at the desk for 32 hours up there without moving. She didn't even leave. We were kind of creeped out. After that, we decided to just stay at the hotel. But the first year we went there, I did not bring anything. We had no idea what to expect, right? So we went to Joe's class, one of the classes, and I had my name tag on. And he's teaching the class, and we were right up front, the first row. And he goes, "Is that Annya?" I go, I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Is that Anya's workshop?" I go, "Yes." And he's like, stop teaching, start talking to me. And he's like, "Oh." And then he pulled me to help him use the hair dryer for something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for drying hair, was it?
Well, no, it doesn't have any. So
yeah. I know. I was the guy giving him crap during your class a few times.
So yeah, so he pulled me out, and then he was talking, and then we connected, and he talked me into teaching a class the following year, and that's the history. He totally yanked me out of the crowd, out of the classroom, and that's it.
Hey, sometimes good things are forced upon you.
Yeah.
So when did you first enter the contest?
The following year after
the following
that,
year, okay.
So 18.
And how did we do in our first contest?
I had one of the PK King New Wa girl. I got gold.
Excellent.
Oh, how nice. How nice. She got gold. Yeah, my first contest. I got gold. Yeah.
I got a couple other ones, but yeah, that was very rewarding. So.
Jason, how many years for you to get a gold?
A long time. A long time. Wasn't
I'm
the first
still waiting.
Yeah.
This is my gold medal right here. This is it.
Hey, I did not get any gold last year, so.
Well, hey, just do it once, and you're done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So I like to do. So let's walk through this last class that you painted was like faces, right?
Yes.
Was doing faces. Do you have let's do some tips. Do you have a skin tone formula? Certain paints you like to use? That you could give, like, what's that, Scott?
What's that, Anya?
Hey, pan pastels, my go-to cheat.
Okay.
You don't have to be good at airbrushing to use those things, and it's awesome. You can shade your model with just a couple strokes, and it looks amazing.
So I've been meaning to pick those up. So that's what the class was about, because I had to watch the table while Scott got to do like all the cool stuff, and so I didn't get to attend anything.
See, Anya, that's such bullshit, because here's the reason. Okay.
No.
We had another guy with us that offered to watch the table, but he wouldn't relinquish control of the table at all. So
I know what happens when I relinquish. So the pan pastels, is that they come in a whole bunch of range of colors, like they're in those?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, walk us through all that stuff. Ooh, those are pretty. All right.
I did buy the red oxide too. Was it the red oxide or the red? There was a red color you say you use a lot of.
Yes.
And I bought that too. I don't think that's in this set. I saw this set and I said, I'll give it a try because it's a flesh set. Skin tones.
Yes.
And where'd you pick it up at? Like, how much was it?
Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon.
What's that set cost?
Oh, I don't know.
They're kind of expensive, but you don't have to use those. You don't have to buy pan pastels. I recommend, usually what I tell people at my classes, I go, those are awesome for painting. They'll last forever because it's kind of like you just use just a touch of it, a powder, it goes a long way. But they're expensive. They're a very high
$40 for this set.
Okay.
Yeah, they're high quality artist grade pastels. So they have a lot of pigment. You can pick up a box of Rembrandt pastels, like a six. It will cost you like $30, $20, $30. You can find it even cheaper, right? Those work just as well. What you do, you put it on the sandpaper, you just grate it a little bit and just use the powder and you apply the same way.
So skip ahead a little bit. Do the pan pastels, the problem I think, how do I say this right? When I use pastels, it took me a while to get my sealing properly right.
Yep.
Because it disappears sometimes, depending on the brand you use. Like the brands vary. Like sometimes when you go to seal it with your dull coat, all of your work will vanish, and you're like, "What the heck? What just happened?" So pan pastels don't do that. Do they? Like, how does it work?
They have a higher grade of pigment, so they don't disappear as fast. But you have to watch it because I had a background at the watercolor paint, right? So on watercolors, you always go from light to dark. You build your layers from the lightest color and you darken it up going down. I know that a lot of miniatures, you start with black and then you build it up. So you have to, like right now, I'm almost in the middle. Sometimes I go one way and then I go backwards. Pan pastels, you can go from a darker color and you light it up, but it will take you a lot longer. Like if you want to brighten up a green color, you put a yellow, seal it, yellow, seal it, yellow, seal it. Sometimes you need to do it like maybe 5, 6 times before you can actually like see like a very good result.
Yeah.
But with every application, you can see a little switch.
What are you using for a sealer right now?
Bear paint.
Because this is I think someone was telling me about.
Yeah,
this.
I sent you a picture.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I found it a couple of months ago at the Home Depot. It's a Bear Chalk Matte Clear spray.
Okay.
I do use the the dull coat when I can find it. I actually have like a little stash of them.
I
About
think everybody does right now.
well,
'Cause
yeah,
it's going
because
away,
it was
yeah.
so hard to find.
How many?
But this stuff works amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna give that stuff a try. Because I love trying new paint. I love smelling new paint too.
Yeah, it's lacquer based, so yeah, you can get a little happy.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
going
as
back
far
to-
as like the pan pastels, you just start with pastels then, or do you have a paint layer first when you're doing like a face, like with this Loki and stuff?
Yes, I go in, I do a base color. I've been using Jesse's paint a lot. I go between Jesse's paint with golden acrylics,
Okay.
the high flow ones, and what is it, Comcart?
Comart, yep.
Comart, yes.
Yep.
Those are the go-to paints. Those usually what I use. I do use the cheaper brand, those 2-ounce like Fox Art or
The Apple Barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do use those for bases a lot too.
Cool.
Just because it's cheap, but yes. So I go in, I put a base color, I shade it with my airbrush, which I'm pretty good with the control, but a lot of people, sometimes they have problem with controlling the airbrush, and that's where we lose a lot of people, because you get so frustrated with trying to shade stuff and it doesn't work. That's why I think the pastels work so much better, because you have a control over your brush. So but
Scott, you have a question before I jump in?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Oh no, I lost it. Airbrush. And I've gotten away from you, and I've said this a few times on the show now. I use my airbrush less and less and less. I'm more like
me too.
Well, you've never used it. I like pastels, and I like doing a lot of washes and just like wet blending colors and like trying to stick to just using brushes. I think, and maybe you could agree, both of you guys could agree, I don't know. There was a point in time where it felt like everyone felt like they had to use an airbrush to be successful at painting garage kits. And if you didn't have a garage kit or an airbrush to paint your garage kit, you were like behind the days. And you're proving that is not true. You can do this with just pastels, or you could do it with just like what I was just talking about. Do you see that? And also, sometimes things look airbrush, and I don't like that. Like when it looks like it was just everything was airbrushed, and you're done. You know what I'm talking about? Does that make sense? Okay.
I do know what you're talking about, because for a while, there was kind of like a pressure of just using airbrushes or just using, certain techniques and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got away from it. The reason why I use airbrush is it's quicker. I cannot do miniatures because they drive me nuts, because it takes so long.
Yeah.
The layers after layer after layer. That's why I like pastels, because you go in, you kind of shade it, and you could get same effect that, as putting like 20 layers by hand. And
yep.
And it's easy to fix a mistake too, right? It's
exactly. If you don't seal it, you can just wipe it off with a Q-tip and some Windex, and you're good to go and try again. I'm lazy.
So is he. Wait there.
I'm just lazy. So I think that's why. But I just found a bunch of stuff. I tried different techniques and see what works for me. I had some success with some stuff, and I tried to follow some different tutorials, and which look amazing at the end, but doesn't work for me. So you just have to find something that works for you.
And I think that's what people just need to experiment and find what works for them the best, and be comfortable with things. Like Chinksy could use some sponges and some pastels instead of just airbrush. Like
he loves his airbrush.
I know he does.
It's just a tool. You can exchange it for something else. I go in from airbrush, then I go in, I like add texture, then I shade with the airbrush, then I go to pastels, Sometimes I go back with the airbrush, don't have to. Then I go with the hand painting, add pastels, and you go between all this different. I mean, I have washes, I have sponges.
Well, I mean, just even looking behind you, you have tube paints. There's looks like what FW inks or some sort of inks up there with squid. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff to like. Just
look at this.
Oh, nice. Now that's a workshop, Scott.
See, you know what this tells me?
That you don't do anything.
She's got a problem.
I do. Okay. All right. Hold on a second. Look at this.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it.
Wow.
Okay, if I put up all my paint, that's what it would look like, and I kind of want to do that because I collect paint more than I think I collect models at this point. That's awesome. I love seeing that stuff. Scott's jealous.
Yeah, no, I have problems.
I'm jealous. You don't have a problem. You have the same problem everyone else has. Just
hey, look behind me. There's no paint.
Oh yeah, let's go downstairs.
There's nothing.
And look at your collection.
Well, I've got pastels.
You do have pastels.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need.
So for other beginners or old guys that haven't painted in a long time and you want them to pick up a brush and start painting something, any advice, inspiration for people just starting out?
Have fun.
Yeah.
Don't think that it's going to be perfect the first time around. I had to repaint so many different things. I mean, I had even for the contest, right? The NRA kid that I submitted, I had to repaint her like 3 days before we went on a trip.
For people who don't know, that's Naked Resin Attack, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times people get fixated. They watch TikTok, they watch, Pinterest or something. They're like, they watch Clubhouse. They're like, okay, it does not have to be perfect. If you are having fun painting it and you're happy with what you have on the table, that's all that counts.
Yeah.
Do not get over obsessed with perfect. As long as I heard a lot of people say, it's better be done than perfect. Put it on a shelf.
That's the problem I have.
I have the same problem.
Okay.
Totally.
It's like, so I buy a kit and I go, well, I don't want to paint that yet because I'm not good enough. And then I'll buy something else and I say, well, this will be a nice little lead in to better kits. And I don't paint those because I'm not good enough. And it snowballs until it's
I think she's
700 kits in your basement.
I have the next room to this, my workroom. It's full of kids in a huge, those humongous kits that the seasons, and you open them up and the boxes are amazing. There's foams and every piece have a magnet, and you open them up, you're like, wow, I don't know if I want to touch this because I'll ruin it. And they sit there and collecting dust, and that's one of the reasons why I actually stopped taking commissions, because I wasn't having fun and I wasn't painting my own stuff.
Yeah.
So
yes, that's what happened to me too. Right after I got that one gold, I started writing for AFM, and then I started doing a lot of commissions, and it's like, my pile of things that I wanted to do was just back burner. And here I am 15 years later, and I still got all those kits. And it's like, yeah, painting for other people is fun, and for the first 10 kits, and then you're like, okay, I want to do my own stuff.
It's kind of nice to have money, but at the same time, it's not worth it. No. And
I would tell, that's, I think, my advice to people, because they always have, like, I want to be a professional painter. I want to be a painter. And it's not everything it's cracked up to be. You don't make a lot of money doing it. Some people do. There's people that charge a lot of money, but that's all you end up doing then. And you don't really do anything for yourself. And it becomes a job, and then it's not fun.
I burned out last year. Like a year before, I wasn't doing anything. I barely finished anything. And then I came across Wicked and I saw those Lokis and I was like, I
Yeah.
have to do it for myself.
Cool.
So
What are you working on right now?
While I'm printing right now, there is a what is it? Creative Geek. He just released one of the Patreons, and he released this coolest model of Beauty and the Beast that goes.
Oh yeah,
first.
I know which one you're talking. So I'm like in my brain. I'm like, I know which.
Yeah, that thing is.
I'll
awesome.
find a picture. Yeah, it's where the Beast is like hunched over with blood everywhere, and she's
yeah,
standing.
and,
yep, that's
and the Beauty goes with the knives and all bloody and splattered. You know.
But she doesn't like gore.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to do gore.
Well, it's Disney. You can't go wrong with Disney. And of course, I kind of did. It's the Vision from Wanda and the Vision. So that's on my table.
What resin do you like to print in?
I really, really, really like the Anycubic Craftsman resin. And I always go for the beige color, which looks like nude, like in color. It's not a apricot; it's beige, and it's hard to get it now.
Is it really? Okay, I really like the Elegoo beige. Elegoo beige is good too.
Yeah, this one is it's creamy. My printer is dialed perfectly for it, and nice, creamy texture is awesome. You know, the details are good. And I found this guy on eBay ended up being like 500 milligrams bottles for like $7.50 a piece.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so I stuck myself in. I got like 20 of them at the time. So I'm still going through my. You know, it's a different obsession, okay?
Yeah,
She's got more problems.
Trust me,
got more problems.
Trust.
Don't give us the look, though. We don't want the look.
No.
It is an obsession. Like you're right. It is a separate, but oh my god.
But see, here's the thing, because I have a full-time job, I have a kid, right? But if I have something in my printer, printing, I feel like I'm accomplishing something, you know. Even though I'm not painting stuff, I'm still doing something.
Do you feel? Here's the test. Do you feel like you're doing something wrong when nothing's printing? Yeah, isn't that weird? I'm like, something should be right now. There hasn't been anything on my printers for 24 hours, and I'm like, I should be printing something.
I'm wasting my time.
Yes.
I'm wasting my time. I could be printing overnight something.
Meanwhile, there's a pile this big of printed stuff.
It's growing.
Yeah.
It's growing. I'm running out of space.
So I started to print for others.
Which I'm doing some too.
And it's not bad because, I mean, you know, but I found I have all these files I haven't printed for myself yet. So I'm kind of like, so what did dummy me do? Same thing dummy Jason did. We bought another Saturn. Okay.
Two Saturns and a Jupiter coming.
And the Jupiter's coming. So
here's the real question. How many Patreons are you on?
Me?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. Do you know could you name which ones?
Well, I did the Nom Nom.
I'm on that one. I like that one a lot. Yep.
The Wicked, Creative Geek, and God, what is that? I don't remember.
But you're on 4.
Yeah.
So Scott, how many? You're doing? One. Yeah.
And I don't even know why, because it's like I haven't downloaded anything forever, but it's $5 a month, and
I think I'm on 6. The hell's wrong?
I had 5. I downgraded. It's like 3 C3D something.
Oh yeah, I'm on that. Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah.
The real question: how much space do you have on your computer?
I bought a separate hard drive. Yeah.
I have external hard drive.
Yep.
You got me looking now.
Yeah. Let's look at our.
Let's see. So my hard drive's 916 gigabytes, and I'm at 558 free, so I'm about half full.
Yeah. No, I ran out.
See, y'all got problems.
And you don't.
No, I'm good.
You're still in denial stage.
Well, I have a big basement, so it doesn't look as bad.
I have about a terabyte of files.
Yeah.
I think. Because that drive is 4 terabytes, 4.5. I have 3.5 left, so about a terabyte.
The fun thing is, I remember when we used to use floppy disks.
I do too. Well, the floppies, and then I still had recently some of the smaller ones. They were the plastic,
3.5.
the 3.5s.
Yeah.
And I still have my computer downstairs that runs Windows 98, and I did turn it on, and it still worked. And the problem was it had a USB 1 drive in it, so flash drives didn't work. So I couldn't pull files off there. So, and I'm not a computer maniac, but I knew I could burn CDs, but then the CD burner went out. And so somewhere years ago, I had the hindsight. I was at they had it on the clearance table, a CD burner. It was like $30. So I said, it doesn't hurt to have an extra one. So I bought it and never used it. And so here I was in my basement putting this ancient CD burner in this ancient computer so I could burn JPEGs and stuff that I had and then move it to this computer. So I was finally able to do that, but I still have the computer. So it's, and I had a zip drive too. Remember the zip drives?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good times. Good old days.
So I have a couple questions.
Yep.
Yes.
I'll just throw a couple questions at you. The lightning round, we'll call it.
All right.
Now, so I'm going to ask you best and worst tips that you ever got. When I say worst tip you ever got, not necessarily the worst tip, but the one that didn't work for you, that maybe works for everyone else, but didn't work for you. And then the best one somebody gave you that it was like discovering fire. I mean,
oils. No.
Can't do it.
No. I do not have patience for that. I was trained. Well, I kind of went through like traditional art.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do like watercolor portraits, and I do color pencils. I used to do like big pictures and stuff for people, before I discovered models, right? So I was doing kind of artsy stuff beforehand. Oils, I never could do oils. My brain does not click for oils. I don't ask why, I just don't get it. You go in, put a blob up here, and then you squiggle it, and suddenly it's a beautiful woman. No, my brain does not go there, But so, and I tried doing oils, washes, on the models. No, just no. It just frustration on top of the frustration. I can get the same effect with the golden, the glazing medium and acrylics. No. I go in, put it in, hair dry it, it's done. 2 seconds later, it's there.
Yeah. Now waiting a week for it to dry and.
Yeah, no. I heard some people say that they put it in the oven. No. Did not work. I did not bake anything though, but yeah. And the best one, one of the recent ones actually, Randy Van Dyke, we talked couple of the Wonderfests ago, and we're talking about realistic skin, and he put me up to, he's been teaching the same class for the last 2 years, so people probably saw it, but you put a texture underneath the skin, and what he recommended to put like a speckles on the base skin. You put speckles and then you cover it up a little bit, and I played with that, and it works awesome for me. So
what are you using to do your speckles? A sponge or the airbrush spritzing?
airbrush.
Okay.
The Ivana. So take the tip off and just sprinkle. So it works beautifully. So I always give him the credit for that.
We got to get him on one of these days.
That guy's trouble. He's not coming out. No, I'm just kidding. Randy's a good guy. He is a good guy. So you mentioned your sister is
Yes.
So she took the trip with you.
She comes in every single year.
Is she into this too? Or no, she just likes to go on a trip and
she's funny because the first couple of years people would ask her if she's painting. She's like, no. And they're like, why are you here? Kind of that kind of reaction. Now she's kind of, we always together. So, and she actually knows a lot of stuff because I talk so much, especially on the trip in the car, traveling. And the funny thing is that when I do a class, she usually sits in the audience and she answers questions behind her. So she sits and people ask questions. They're not loud enough for me to hear them, but she would go in and answer all the questions. So if you can't get to me, pick her brain. She knows it. She doesn't do it, but she knows.
She's like me. I know. I don't do it, but I know.
It's kind of like judges at the Olympics,
Yeah.
They don't do it, but they're very like.
I'm a judge. I'm like a judge at the Olympics, Jason.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what you are.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
More lightning round questions, Scott. You got another one?
You like the anime. You have the Loki stuff. Do you like the superhero stuff too? Or is this just I like Loki?
My cat is named Loki, by the way.
Okay.
I actually.
It's a good name for a cat, by the way. That's.
We have a second cat. We tried to call her Sylvie, but it did not stick. So.
Okay.
The variant, but no, I like movies. The problem is I don't have enough time to enjoy movies as much.
I get it.
And there's so much of it,
You're giving him so many excuses.
So many different, so many different movies, so many different series, the Disney Plus. I mean, I actually had enough time. My sister dragged me to watch the Lokis. That's why I enjoyed it so much. I watched some of the WandaVision because she was watching it, and I would be in a different room just going back and forth. I'm like, I feel like I watched the whole thing without sitting down, And if I missed something, I'm like, so what happened? But I don't have as much time. I tried to go in and watch like the last, Doctor Strange movie. We actually made time to go out and watch it. And but I wish I had more time, but I had to like juggle so many different things. And sometimes you're like, well, do I want to watch a movie or something or go downstairs and paint something? Because I don't have a TV in my room. It's about, I don't know, about 6 feet by 12, a little closet, I can touch. My chair sits right in the middle, and on one end there's an airbrush. Yep, yeah, I can pretty much touch my walls.
But I have a TV here now.
I don't have a TV. I can touch the walls. Everything is in distance. I can just slide right there.
See, isn't that someone messaged? It was on our comments somewhere saying that I'm too cramped, and it's the opposite. I like it like that. It's like a cockpit.
Everything is there.
Everything you can reach wherever you need to reach and grab without moving. I love that feeling.
And if you have too much on your tables, you know that you're in trouble. You're getting buried. Just finish something.
Yeah. Yep.
Just finish something.
Yep. You mentioned you had a daughter who entered the contest at Wonderfest.
Yes.
Before we started recording, and you said she got a gold.
She got a gold, and she got the best of juniors.
So did she think you were crazy doing all this until she entered? How did you talk her into start painting? Did something she wanted to do on her own to be like mom? How'd you get your kid involved?
She likes coming in my room. She knows better than touching anything, right? She knows not. Yeah, no, she's trained, Um, but she wanted to paint some stuff. She started with like a dollar store little projects and stuff, and I just told her, I'm like, hey, if you finish this piece, I can take it to the Wonderfest for you. And she got all excited, and she painted this little Tinkerbell character figurine. And let me tell you, she painted eyes. She was funny. She goes, Mama, 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 I'm going to take inspiration from your Sylvie's eyes. So she had my Sylvie sitting on the shelf, and she keeps running from her room, going to the shelf, looking at the eyes, and going back to her room, painting it. And her eyes are amazing for the first time. I don't think mine were that bad,
Yeah.
but you know.
Send us, if you can, send us a picture afterwards so
Yeah,
we'll put it in
I
here.
will. I will. But yeah, no, she was so excited. Now I have to kind of like push her down a little bit. She's like, well, I got a goal. I go like, no, you can't just do that. I'm like, next time it's going to be totally different, starting from the beginning. Like, you have to put some effort into it. You can't just be like, well, I've done it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that's great.
Coming from the mother that got gold the first time she entered. I'm just saying,
Well, at that point, I've been doing it for a couple years.
Oh, that's great. It's good to see kids doing it, though.
It is.
That's cool.
I think it's good to see. And, I'm going to be sexist here for a minute. And Jason didn't want to touch on this, but I don't care. I'm running the show here. And we talked before we started recording. You're our first female guest.
Oh, this is what I thought you were going to get to something else.
And no, so it was, and again, you're in a hobby that's predominantly men.
An old guy.
And old men like Jason. Was that intimidating at first, or did you just say, hey, I like doing it, I'm doing it? Or didn't you realize it until you went to Wonderfest and saw everybody in wheelchairs?
Well, it's not that bad. No. I came from the other side. I came from anime, where there was a lot of girls painting all these cutesy models. So by the time I actually found Clubhouse, and found Wonderfest and European models, I guess, not the Japanese, by then I was already hooked. So, and I had to challenge myself, because as much as I like some of the anime, it's more simplistic, and I want to challenge myself, and I wanted to go in and do some amazing, like some of the miniatures that you can see online sometimes, they're so amazing. But I don't want to paint this tiny, I want to do big but beautiful.
That's how Scott likes them too.
Oh,
so
well, and I'm with you. The miniature stuff is beautiful, but it's
tedious.
I can barely see
it
now.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
One day I'm going to hold you to this. About 10 years from now, when you have no shelf space left, you're going to be like, I need to paint smaller things. And you're going to really start liking the miniatures more and more. Because that's where I started. Then I went big, and now I'm like, I got to go small again.
I moved to the bust.
Yeah, that's part of it too. That helps. You mentioned coming from the anime side where there's a lot of girl painters or women painters. Miniatures is the same way. It's only this part where it's all dudes. And that's what I don't understand. I mean, it's not all dudes. It's mostly dudes. That is it the age? Is it the subject matter? Because again, anime painter figures, it's a lot of women. Miniatures is a lot of women painters, and it's pretty even.
Yeah.
But when it comes to garage kids, it's just East Coast Italian dudes for the most part.
Well, a lot of it, if you look at the Wonderfest entries, it's a huge chunk of vehicles, props, dinosaurs, and black and white TV shows, which, I didn't grow up on that, so it doesn't get involved me as much. I remember some of the movies, I mean, the classics. I was very excited about the Back to the Future entry this year, and that was awesome. But
That's cool.
at the same time, some of the I don't have a relationship with those characters, and a lot of them are like David Fisher. He brought in all this older stuff. Because in like George, he's been growing up on that. The older scary stuff. And that's what brings back that brings back the memories of your childhood. And I have different childhood.
Yeah.
We spent most of it in Russia. So I came here when I was 17. So I was all grown up.
What year did you come here?
Look, he's trying to do the math.
Doing
He's
math.
doing math. He's doing math.
Oh, he'll get it wrong, so you
I'll
better
get it
tell
wrong.
him.
What year did you come here?
96.
96.
I mean, she was
So
born
that
in
was-
19. What, Jason? What? Come on.
Oh, I don't know. I was trying to figure out where you were, where the world was when you came here.
1979.
So after the wall fell,
I can do the
right?
math.
Yeah.
Yes.
After the wall. After
Yeah,
Chernobyl, like all the good stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was 96 after the Berlin Wall went down, all that stuff. The borders were open, no Cold War, so I crossed after.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to see a lot of fun things, probably on your side.
I grew up during communism era.
Yeah.
I can tell you stories. It's interesting because I have pretty good memories. I grew up. We had the black and white TV, 4 channels. That's it. They would shut it off at like 11 p.m. and turn it back on at like 7 or something. Which happened here like 20 years prior before that. So I have memories for all of that. I had all the communism parties. I grew up during that time, and it's totally different. So
Have you been back since you've been here or no?
No. I was going to, but then life happened, and first I had to do my paperwork. Then I was in college. Then I had a kid, and so.
Your mom and dad, are they still there? Here?
My mom is here. My sister and my mom are here. My dad passed away. But I still have like cousins, and my aunt visited us a couple times. So, it's very. Right now, it's not a good time up there. So, unfortunately, but we stay in contact with a lot of people, but it's a distance now. I mean, I've been here 20 plus years, so
But your immediate family's here. That's good.
Yes,
your immediate
exactly,
family, and that's good. And so we're in Minnesota now. How do we get from Montana to Minnesota? And don't say the expressway. Yeah, don't
through North Dakota. That's how they did it.
My mom and my sister, they started in Minnesota. Then my mom got married to a guy in Montana, and then they moved there. And then after a while, a divorce happened. So they moved
come back to Minnesota.
I have to tell you that Minnesota reminds me of the Russia where I grew up. 4 seasons, nice leaf trees. The weather kind of the same. The surrounding the same. So it kind of reminds me of home.
Yeah.
Back in Russia. So better than Montana, which is flat.
Hey, we're down in the Chicago area, and we're lucky to be alive.
Chicago. Every single trip we're trying to take, they'll go through this way. No, we are avoiding this way. We are avoiding that area. I'm like, I'm not gonna save time by going through Chicago.
No, you won't save time coming through.
No.
Never.
And GPS always tells me to go through Chicago. No.
Yeah. Well, next time you can stop and say hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just
because
meet
it
you at the
probably takes
Wonderfest.
her around on 294.
Yeah. When you go to Wonderfest, you have to go
When
past
you go to
my house,
Wonderfest, she
and
probably comes around to 294. So she probably goes right by my house and by your house too.
yeah, right by me.
Yeah. So, but
Before we
yeah,
go,
the weather up there, you guys
oh,
have been
sorry.
getting hammered with storms this year. I've noticed. It seems like I'm always seeing severe weather in Minnesota.
Yeah, just a little thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Not like it's.
They're the best. I love thunderstorms.
They're awesome, especially open the window, sleep in. Awesome.
So we like the thunderstorms until you're 3D printing.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst.
Then you're looking at the radar going, should I start that print or should I wait?
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yeah. Are you lucky? Do you feel lucky today?
Yeah. Well, you've done that, right, Jason?
Sorry.
Where
What?
you haven't started a print? You've
Oh
done
yeah, I
that.
have a lot. My power's gone out because of a storm, and I lost prints, and I have not started. Yeah, it's especially over here. We lose power pretty quickly. Is there anything you want to plug? Any websites? People want to get a hold of you? Anything?
If you want to follow some of my stuff, I do have the Facebook, the Anya's workshop. I do post a bunch of how to process stuff. I don't do videos because I don't have time.
Yeah.
I
know.
wish I had more time. I wish I had a cameraman behind me. I wish I had Ed helping me to edit all the videos and stuff. Like at the class.
Yeah.
But unfortunately I don't. So I try to keep updating my Facebook. That's about it.
Yeah, we'll push people over there so they could see it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I am Jesse. I wrote a tutorial for the face tutorial that I did at the Wonderfest, and Jesse's editing for me because I suck at writing. So I need help with that.
Okay.
So he's editing for it, and he's going to post it soon.
On Garage Kids US? Okay.
Jesse's, yeah.
Right.
Other than that,
Yeah, she doesn't do commissions anymore. So it's
just for special people, but yeah, no.
Yeah, get on that list of special people then.
Well, yeah, we should be on the special people list now.
You are.
You can. I can paint my own stuff. You should. You should be painting your own stuff too, Scott. I'm putting it off on people.
Hey, I got the pastels. I'm ready. I'm good to go.
I'm holding you to that. I want you to try those. I'm gonna pick some up. We could do it together.
Try it. Just try couple colors. Don't spend the money right away. Just you can use as long as you get the artist grade pastels. Don't do the student grade. Do the artist grade, and then you'll be fine.
Here's my. Hold on. Here's my pastels. Take my big. That's not as organized as yours.
Are you organized, Annya? Or are you
I know where everything in my room is, but if you look at it, it's cluttered.
That's how
But
I am.
I know where everything is.
That's how I am.
And then, once in a while, I get the urge to paint, but don't know where to start. I start cleaning.
Unless it's my glasses. Then I have no idea where my glasses are, and I have no idea where my phone is most of the time. Everything else.
So we'll see you at more Wonderfests.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Do they have you teach in the same class each time, or are you gonna do something different, or?
Every single time I was teaching a class, it was something different.
Okay, cool. Good.
The first time was skin color. The second time that was right after COVID, and I did hair color, and I had to do it twice because they did a same class on Saturday and the same class on Sunday. I had to repeat them because the year before they were like, okay, well, we don't know how many people can be allowed in the room. So they repeated. I had to do it twice. So
that's like my job. I have to do the same thing 8 times a year.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been great. Uh-oh. What was the ding?
It's my phone. Sorry.
Oh, no. I thought it was Scott. Ding in.
Yeah. See, he wants to blame me right away. First
Mine.
time. He wants to
Blame the
blame me.
Blame the Russians.
Blame the Russian.
We blame them for everything these days anyway. Why not?
Yeah. Well, you are very charming, and thanks for coming on for sure. And it's a pleasure meeting you. I was in your class, but I didn't really meet you. I'll be honest. It's like I didn't even hear of you till like about a year ago, I think. And Jesse mentioned you, and I'm like, "Who's Annya?" And of course, Jesse yelled at me and filled me in on who Annya was. And so then when, this year at the class, I said, well, I'm going to go to this class and see. And just so you know, I haven't been to a seminar in about 10 years. So that was the first one I've gone to.
Thank you for coming.
I sat in the back, though, and gave Crazy Joe a hard time. But so
he deserves it.
That is true. What you asked him for. Oh, you asked him for a hairdryer, and he went into some explanation. I said, it's a yes or no question, Joe. She didn't ask for an explanation. And it's like,
oh, Joe. Oh, boy.
But no, it was very good, and you're a good teacher, and it's good seeing your work. I'm following you now, so if I got questions,
send you some stuff.
We'll and Jason's gonna try that chalk.
I am.
Matt?
I am gonna try it.
Yeah, just rub it on the sandpaper and use a soft brush to apply it.
Cool. Well, again, thank you. This has been great. And we'll see you on the other side. Now you see you at Wonderfest.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. That was Annya. Great stuff.
She was awesome.
Great stuff. Check out her
Facebook
from
page. St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg, Russia.
Born in 1979, Jason.
That makes her younger than me.
That's good, though.
Dang.
I like too, I guess I never thought of that. But how many girls, females, whatever we can say these days, are into this anime stuff that, again, it's like miniatures, I think.
Yeah, you won't see it.
Another whole.
Yep. Well, I see it all the time when I go to those other conventions, the miniatures and the anime stuff. Women everywhere.
So
Garage Kit, Wonderfest, not so much.
So kudos to her.
Yeah. Take her classes at Wonderfest. She's like different class every year so far. And heard nothing but good stuff about this year's class. So check her out when you're there.
Okay. Thanks again, Annya, for coming.
Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Voicemails, emails, and corrections. Scott, do we have any corrections from the last episode?
No.
We do everything perfect. We're going to do this email first because I really only have one email. If I've missed anything in the last month, like emails or anything, I apologize. We'll catch up to things. Hi, this is from Raymond LeGrant. Hi, Jason and Scott. Excellent video on rotocasting. I love making Scott feel good. My one question is, how did Scott know how much resin to mix when he prepared the mold? I know he has a lot of experience, but is there an overflow port in the mold, or does he rely on just backflow pressure? And if I may ask an additional, in general, how many molds make up a figure? So let's start with that first thing. How did you know how much resin?
So when you do your first piece, it's kind of a trial by error thing. Okay. And I've been fortunate enough in most cases, although not in the case of the King Kong, although now I do, but at the time I didn't have the original sculpt. So it was just a look at it and see. And so it was a little trial and error. And then I looked at that and said, okay, that would probably normally be this amount of resin. And I think my rule of thumb was, if I have the original piece, I'll weigh it. And I'll put enough resin in it to make it about a third of the actual weight of the actual piece.
Okay.
And I'll go from there. Sometimes it might still come out thin, in which case I'll add some more. And then once I do that, I'll write it down. So I have it written down somewhere. That one, I did so many of those, I have it memorized.
Okay.
And I put a little extra in that one because it's going to be for a master to be remolded. So, but, there's not a...
Is there an overflow port?
No. Because it
you
would
just
be...
had the stuff leaking out of
There'd
it
be
a
no
little bit.
sense to rotocast it if you were filling it solid.
Okay.
Now, I have rotocast pieces that are almost solid.
Because someone else
Again,
asked that they didn't understand that's what you were doing. Rotocasting makes the piece hollow. Like I noticed in the comments, there was one of those we had to kind of correct that it isn't. This is not pressure casting to get rid of the bubbles. This is to make a piece hollow.
It will get rid of the bubbles.
It will.
Yes, because
But it's not
the gravity
vacuum. It's
forces the resin into the cavity. So as it spins, gravity, centrifugal force is forcing it in.
Well, I guess maybe I'm wrong. I'm meaning when you vacuum, when you pressure cast something,
Right.
it's not that. It's not taking the place of that.
No, although it can.
It can a little bit. Okay.
It can a little bit, and in some points, and do I have anything here? And a Sharpie.
Boy, it's gonna be like Mr. Rogers.
Informative.
Yeah. It's like picture pages without the Bill Cosby.
So can you make that out?
Yep.
So the square is the mold. Let's say that's a mold. And that's a head. Okay. Now, if you pressure cast that, okay, it'll vacuum out most of the bubbles. But I've done it. You can still trap bubbles like here. Like if this was pointed up a little bit,
Yeah.
or maybe this
Or the
nose.
tip of the nose.
Okay. You could still trap bubbles because even though it forces them out, it can only force them out so far. And if there's a undercut in here that's too much, you can still get stuff trapped.
Okay.
Okay. The idea would probably be to design your mold so it doesn't happen. So, but I have cast some stuff where I pressure cast some stuff where, especially on the chin of a model, like under here, you still get little pinholes. Where if you're rotocasting, you don't.
Okay.
So air can still get trapped in a pressure cast piece.
Okay.
I'm not saying pressure casting is bad. I'm just saying that air can still get trapped in a pressure cast piece.
His other question, in general, how many molds make up a figure? It entirely depends on the figure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
for that Kong, how many molds are for that Kong?
9, including the base, 10 if you include the nameplate.
There you go. Cool. Great questions, Raymond. Thank you. Perfect. All right.
Also, someone mentioned in the comments of that video vacuuming. Okay. 2 different things. Okay. You don't vacuum. I've never heard of vacuuming resin to get air out. You pressure cast it. You vacuum the rubber. And the reason you vacuum the rubber is to get the air out because we're going to draw again. Okay. So I've added some, and this is an over exaggeration, but you see the little circles?
Yep.
If those were air bubbles and they were close to the surface of that piece and you pressurize that thing, that piece would come out with 3 little balls of resin on it because the pressure would force it into there. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So when you vacuum the rubber, it takes all that air out. And so you can pressure cast. You really, if you're going to pressure cast, you have to vacuum the rubber. I don't always vacuum my rubber for rotocasting, but for pressure casting, you have to. Now, there's going to be guys out there with different opinions. You always have to vacuum it, blah, 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 blah. Hey, whatever works for you. Like Annya said in our interview, whatever works for you, fantastic. Okay. I have found I'd rather rotocast any day of the week than pressure cast. That's me.
Safer.
Not to mention, when you pressure cast something, there's some things that can go wrong. And if they go wrong, they go really wrong, because you are, in a sense, making, and I probably shouldn't say the word because we'll get flagged,
Spell it.
but you're making an explosive device.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why when you hear like the Boston Marathon, they used a pressure cooking pot, okay, for their device to do that terrorist act there. And so again, pressure casting, you respect what you have. Our friend Randy Guthrie got hurt really bad. He had a pot blow up, and a chunk of the pot hit him right in the head. I think he's still having some eye problems.
I gotta
So
come on
anyway,
and yep.
Hope that answers some questions.
Yeah, that was great questions.
And
Thanks,
and
man.
again, a few people had some, different ways they do it and stuff like that. And again, whatever works for
whatever works.
anybody.
Okay, our next email is from Daniel Cherney. This is semi-related to your show, so I thought I'd send these pics along. I've been doing these large-size chalk artwork at festivals around the U.S. and Europe, and today I finished on at Oberlin, Ohio. He's a creature from the Black Lagoon in progress, in chalk on the sidewalk. Check these out. That's pretty cool. Great job, Dan. Love seeing that stuff.
And for those of you that don't know, Dan recently had a surgery. So the fact that he was able to still do this was amazing. So
yeah. And this is the most summertime email we've ever got. It's like chalk drawings remind me of something.
There you go.
Out there. Great stuff. Very cool. Okay.
Thanks, Dan. We hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Hope you're recovering.
Here we go. It's voicemail time. You ready for this nightmare?
I can't wait for this nightmare.
Okay. Voicemails. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail, it is, the phone number again is 708-816-4299. 708-816-4299. Quick, clean, sharp. Voicemails are always best. As far as the email goes, if you want to leave us send us an email, modelclubtv@gmail.com. So here we go. First voicemail is from,
this is George Takei of Star Trek, the original
George
series,
Takei.
and Star Trek, the motion picture 1 through 6. I greatly have enjoyed Model Club TV, especially that gentleman, DeConte, Neil DeConte, and his boat. Please tell Neil I would greatly enjoy going on a long voyage with him on his boat. Just he and I. Oh my. Long live and...
Is there caller ID on these?
Leonard used to say.
We had George Takei call us. And he wants to take a ride on Neil's boat. So we'll leave it at that. Neil, I can hook you up. Send me an email message if you want to take George for a ride. I'll look that up.
Neil would love to take George for a ride.
All right. Next voicemail.
Hello, gentlemen. It's
Brian Clark,
your favorite English teacher.
Great.
So, after watching the post-Wonderfest episode, I have to say, yes, the salt on the pizza was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen, and horrific at the same time. The ketchup was just as bad, but not as bad as that. But what we're forgetting, guys, is that on the way home from the pizza place, Scott swung through and bought fries at McDonald's and 2 giant sweet teas. After a full pizza, he ate a pizza on his own. He turned around and bought a large fry and 2 giant sweet teas. I don't know. His arteries have to be like made of Velcro, or not Velcro, some sort of thing that could clean them up, because everything just bounces off of him. He should have clogged arteries, is my point. The other thing is, Scott, you keep mentioning the fact that my I'm a big fat guy. And you're not wrong necessarily, but just remember, I'm about 6 inches taller than you, and we wear the same size T-shirt. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We both have 3 X's, and I can see the top of your head when I'm standing up. That's all. All right, guys. Hey, Wonderfest was awesome. Hopefully we can do it again next year. Wonderful, wonderful time, except for, well, half the time was fun, and the other half I spent with Scott.
Your buddy, Brian Clark, talking about how you got some sweet teas and some fries on the way home from the pizza. There's the sauce. Oh, man.
So a couple things I'd like to comment on. Okay. You know, I'm down to 1 kidney, so I hold a lot of water. So that's why I'm wearing the same shirt. Okay. You know, I'm just saying. Right. Plus, I wear a lot of layers, so it looks like I'm big, but, you know, I got a lot of clothes
one layer. Right?
So, salt on pizza. I don't think that's that unusual.
All right. Comment below. How many people put salt on pizza?
Okay. Ketchup on pizza is a little worse.
No.
All right. What's worse? Salt on pizza or ketchup on pizza?
All right. Yeah. Let us know.
Let us know. All right.
All right.
And what Mr. Clark forgot to mention too is how he was ransacking my van looking for food because he couldn't wait to get to the restaurant. And what did he find? My secret salt shaker that I keep in the car.
You don't think that's a problem that you have a secret salt shaker?
Salt is one of them condiments they hardly give you.
You're not supposed to have a lot of it.
Okay. I mean, if they gave you ketchup packs were like this big, wouldn't you carry ketchup with you?
I have taken ketchup, please.
Okay. Now, you know who gives good ketchup packs? Is Culver's.
Yeah.
See, let me tell you another thing about ketchup, and you might disagree with me. Okay. There's really only one brand of ketchup, and that's Heinz.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Although the rolled gold is growing on.
No, the rolled gold. I was just going to say that. So we used to go to this breakfast joint, and they had Heinz all the time. And all of a sudden we started going, and they got the rolled gold.
Yeah.
I hated the rolled gold. So
depends
I would
what it's
literally bring my own bottle of ketchup to breakfast, and they would laugh at me because I hated that ketchup so much. That rolled gold tastes like ass.
There's only one place I'll bring a bottle of ketchup, and that is Gene and Jude's, the hot dog place, because they do not have ketchup in this place at all. So if you ask for ketchup, they throw you out. It's one of those places.
Even for fries.
Even for fries, it is not allowed in the restaurant. They're right next to a McDonald's, and McDonald's stopped passing out packets because people would go over there and get ketchup for their fries. So now I just bring my bottle of ketchup from home and eat it in the car. That's I don't put ketchup on the hot dog. I put it on the fries. Not on the hot.
Jason's the only guy in the world I know. He eats a hot dog like this. Okay. Anyway.
What the hell is that?
Anyway.
All right. Next voicemail.
Hi, this is Scott Johansson, and if you're calling this number now, then you really are bored and you're taking a little piece of my soul away every time you call me. Wonderfest with Jason was an experience I don't want to relive again. Yeah. Him and his homemade hooch drove me nuts. Yeah, bye.
I didn't have any homemade hooch. So, Scott, why are you calling, leaving weird voicemails?
Yeah, that's me leaving you a voicemail about homemade hooch. Like, I don't have more information that I could lay out there.
That's true, actually. All right, and finally, I think this one is CG Blade.
Hey, guys, this is CG Blade. Just want to let you guys know that
okay, good.
We had a blast despite the horrendous amount of pain that I've been in ever since. But we had a blast seeing you guys. And for those people that we didn't get a chance to meet, maybe sometime in the future, but it was a blast all around. And I have one question for you guys. Do you know where we could go to check out the prize winners for the contest room. Is there some place, do they post them on the website? Does somebody have those? Or will they be in AFM magazine or what? We were unsure where to go look to see who had won the contest and the categories. So thanks a lot, and take care. Wait, take care. Bye.
Cool. That's a good question. First of all, for the people who don't know, CG Blade, he's in some tremendous back pain all the time. But when you go to like a place like, even my back hurts by the end of the day of standing and walking. So it's tough. When you have a back issue, it wrecks everything. So the fact that he was able to hang on as long as he did, well done. As far as finding out who the winners are for the contest for Wonderfest, they do end up putting a list on the website of everyone who won. Am I right? They used to. But I don't know if they're going to have pictures next to they usually just put the names and the name of the kit. As far as pictures to match with those kits, I don't know. But eventually Wonderfest does put up a list on their site. So you'd kind of have to then just match that to other people around this, like, to figure out whose was what. It's kind of weird how they do that, but yeah, there's got to be a better way at some point.
Well, it'd be hard to take pictures of whatever,
everybody.
700,
Yeah.
800 models.
That's it. That's the show, Scott.
That's it.
That's our show. Again, giveaway. We have the Elephant Man from Paul Gill. I Am Not an Animal. I'm hoping that's from that movie.
If it's not, it is now.
It is now. Leave that in the comments. You'll be entered into the Elephant Man giveaway. And then again, please leave us suggestions. We'll figure out what to do next episode with all these giveaways we have. And again, it's been a fun 2 years. We're going to keep going. And thank you.
We're going to count the
everybody.
feet. We're going to count the feet. It's going to be a contest.
You got to get a jar and put them in there.
I am.
Yeah. Cool.
The
All
old
right,
Model
everybody.
Club trophy.
We'll see you next time. Model Club TV. Episode 50. Holy crap. Bye, everyone. Say goodbye, Scott.
Goodbye, Scott.
Oh, God.
So here's the first question. Should I just go off on my own and get rid of this loser? I don't need him. I don't need all this fancy editing that he does or that he says he does. Doesn't really look like he does. So, yeah, shoot us some comments. Maybe I should branch off.
Gotta keep it below the screen. All right, I'm back. How much bad shit did you say about me?
I guess you'll find out in the editing.
Yeah, I guess I will.